So now this was a para summary based question. Okay, again, there's a problem with the cursor. I keep on dragging it. Just a second, guys. I'm so sorry for the. Okay, yeah. Okay. So let me hear a new release. So it is a para summary. Okay, so para summary. What we need to look is that all the ideas, all the main ideas are captured. Okay, nothing is mentioned, nothing is left over, so all the main ideas are captured, and yeah, the facts are reinstated in the same form as it is there present in the original argument. Okay, so a newly released study among others notes that a newly released, where is the cursor, no, among others notes that blacks have the highest cancer mortality rate when compared to the other racial and ethnic groups. Okay, so the first idea is this, that the blacks have the highest cancer mortality rate. Okay, peoples living in poverty have lower rates of routine screening and a lower likelihood of getting the best possible treatment. In the US, Poverty USA reported that in 2016, Native Americans experienced the highest rate of poverty at 27.46%, followed by blacks at 26.3% and Hispanics at 23.4%. For whites, the poverty rate is 12.4%, and for the Asians, 12.3%. This finding is particularly important as the stage at cancer diagnosis influences as this finding is particularly important as the stage at cancer diagnosis influences survival. Surviving cancer should not be determined by your ethnicity or your income level, but until the gap in access to the care is eliminated, that will be the prognosis. Okay, so there are 3-4 ideas which are very important in this particular para summary. One is that the black have the highest cancer mortality rate, and the reason for this is your ethnicity, first of all. Okay, so and the second is your income level. The author is saying that these should not be used. Okay, but until the gap in the access to care is eliminated. Okay, but until the medical care is accessible to almost everyone. Okay, so that will be the prognosis. I mean, that will be the idea that the ethnicity and the income level actually kind of affects the cancer mortality rate. Okay, so we can say that yeah, so mainly, in case if I just have to summarize in my own words, then I would say that the author's position is that the factors affecting cancer mortality rate are your ethnicity and your poverty. Okay, and your poverty, and that is the reason that he mentioned about the poverty facts here. Okay, so though to highlight that income level. Okay, and then the blacks have the highest cancer mortality rate. So let's go by the option. Income and ethnicity are closely linked to getting the best possible treatment of cancer. Oh, what is this? Okay, so what is this? Income and ethnicity are closely linked to getting the best possible treatment for cancer. Okay, so he's saying that unless and until the possible treatment for the cancer is accessible to all, that was the case. Is it accessible to all? Till that, the income and ethnicity are the main factors that affect the cancer mortality rate. Okay, so it is not that the income and ethnicity are closely linked to getting the best possible treatment for the cancer. This is absolutely incorrect. Okay, and secondly, this does not mention about mortality rate for the cancer. Okay, it's talking about the possible treatment, which the author says that the factors remain income and ethnicity. The cure is not accessible to everyone. Economic factors and ethnicity determine mortality gap between blacks and whites. It is saying that it is determining the mortality gap between black and white, and it does not mention cancer at all. Okay, it happens, it does not, it's happened, it is not unanimously that the economic factors and the ethnicity determine mortality gap. Okay, okay, we can say that it actually determines the mortality gap. Okay, but between blacks and white, but it is not a mortality gap for almost all the diseases. It is in specific to the cancer mortality rate. So the author is talking about the cancer mortality rate, not a very general mortality gap. Okay, now people living in poverty are more susceptible to the cancer and cancer mortality. Okay, now this is one of the option. Okay, but again it is narrow. It's narrows because it actually talks about susceptibility to the cancer. Okay, and it misses upon the important aspect, which is ethnicity. Okay, so the two aspects are important. One is the ethnicity and the second is the income level. and this is only talking about the income level, nothing about the ethnicity. Now, often ethnicity and income level determined whether a patient survives cancer. Okay, now this is the correct answer because it highlights almost the everything. Okay, so it highlights the author positions that the blacks have the highest cancer mortality rate. Okay, now the blacks is being proved by the ethnicity concept, then the cancer mortality rate is mentioned, and then the income level is also mentioned. So ethnicity and the income level determine whether a patient survives cancer or not, and this is the correct answer. Hope this is clear.